And you molly one of those choke points and you really stop them easily, and everyone can rotate in, you get good positions. So yeah, definitely they need to watch out for this.
Looking at the
doesn't look like there is a molly.
They don't have traditional stopping power, obviously.
Oh, okay.
We've been speaking about Focus playing this double duelist meta the entire time they've been on every map, I believe, that we've seen them play so far. Now, again, if we were to flip it around, okay, they don't have traditional stopping power. You're probably not going to put Mystic up there with the Omen to use the paranoia, but actually putting your boy Lewis with the fade, being able to re-clear and get very early info on when those top mid splits are actually going to happen is probably going to be your next best alternative. Having perhaps Valorant there with a Cypher trip or the cage, again, allowing them to pop it up, instantly re-clear the question mark in case Mandatory actually fake one of those splits.
Yeah.
Because that's something you have to think about now is if they were so successful versus you guys, now do they actually start to fake those and play on the things that they've conditioned?
Yeah, I think that's perfect, because like I think that they ran like 4 or 5 against Twisted Minds, and I think it's now do mandatory. We call it like anti-strat yourself.
Yeah,
like, have they anti-strat themselves to add that next layer? They might not even need it, given how much firepower they're coming out with today. But if we were in like a more even state, that's the kind of analysis I think.
They watched the game yesterday. They should already watch out on how Takas does pathing on Neon. It was actually really clean yesterday, the way it was moving. And I think if you're ready, you should just bring 2 guys there. We know they're gonna do this, punish this guy, then just move on to the next. It will be a good solution as well. Because really, he plays really flawless with it.
We'll see whether or not Focus has watched this game. Hopefully for them they did, because 13-2 would be a little bit of a sad way to replicate it onto Mandatory's map pick. This is do or die for Focus. Their final chance to stay in the competition. We're going to be covering the action with our casters, Haza and Cairo.
The former Focus coach has spoken. Leave it all in the server or go back home. As the only representative from DACH in the competition, the German home favourites in many senses, what a way for them to crash out. Without a playoff win this calendar year, it's sunset where they head. It's baked into the Focus DNA, and they used to run the Sage themselves as of last year, most recently. So we'll have to see if they're prepared for what Mandatory are about to throw at them.
Yeah, I mean, as for Mandatory, they've ran this map only 3 times this year with 3 different comps. It seems like they're going to make sure to settle on this one as they start the attack. We've already heard from the Twisted Minds coaching staff is what to do. Fingers crossed, Focus will have done that advice as the players move up towards top mid. Focus well aware of what they need to do.
Mandatory wasting no time in taking this mid control away from Focus. 4 players trying to overload the A space at the start, space which they have since conceded. And it's into this phase of the round now where Mandatory will be looking to re-clear. It's Focus that make the prerogative theirs. But peeking out top mid, Samed walking away with just 1. Double dipping solo and going down. Alo's not going to stop though. And that is the equalizer. 3-on-3 now.
At least able to recollect the spike. So with numbers even, where does Mandatory want to go next? Faking presence on A, just using hip on this fade. So it's in towards Valorant, and you can see him moving towards top mid.
Fog of War just choking Focus out here as Alo tries to collect some information through middle. So much ground to be covered on A. Focus didn't know what was going to hit them, and laying their neck on the line, find it cut clean off yet again as Mandatory move into post on B.
Players low, Mikey especially, but Kellogg's up high with a TP to get away. This is the big thing that Focus will have to try and get rid of.
An understacker. 2 players on the line. Sus walking into trouble, walking into his own death. And Mystic isn't too far behind either. Kellogg's burying a couple. Mandatory with their 3rd pistol round in this series.
The big thing for me with the chamber that Kellogg's is on, yesterday it took him a while to get started, but it seems with this double, that's the perfect icebreaker you want coming into Sunset. And you'll need more than that, big man. I hope you've got your rosary beads ready, because it's going to be a long night if it continues like this.
Kundi, of course, coming from Maus, this was one of their best maps.
Yes.
And I think, having worked with Zus in the past, again, it's about putting him in positions of power on the defense when he can get that off. But now it's the Sheriff, and that's one of the sharpest shots he's hit so far this evening.
Clean, yes, Takas gone, but not really recoverable, the weapon that he had. And
Okay.
walks in towards a stack, and this is beginning to get problematic, but not before Mikey starts to shoo away Focus.
It's in these positions now, though, where Focus let things slip. They're in a 3-on-3. There is weaponry to potentially be recovered, but they are just strengthening the A-hold, or so you'd think. Aloe has called for help in mid. A potential re-clear into Kellogg's is what they could be looking for.
But they won't find him, because he's going to go back, collect himself up with a stack, and Mandatory start to make their way towards that A site.
Yeah, but with how Mandatory's attack macro looks, they play these slow rounds where they're waiting for the re-aggression. They don't know that it's creeping up right behind them as all of this is going down. It's some really nice proactivity from Focus.
Can they catch Kellogg's off guard with a Guardian in his hand? They'll see him and finally catch him. So that's an upgrade, and it's straight into Zus's hands. An attempt to get the spike planted, but both players ready to fight. The Bulldog trying to fire away, but it won't work out. But we've seen Focus up against the Bulldogs before, up against these anti-ecos, and still letting it slip, even from an advantage. And with Hip, full HP, and bullets in the chamber. Unfortunately for him, it won't work out, but fortunately enough for Focus, they're answering straight back.
Yeah, and answering back early as well, not wasting any time to get on the board, making the right decisions to spin that one back.
And I think the big thing as well, you say about making the right decisions, it feels like they have a direction, you know, and that's the big thing. In previous maps I've watched, I feel as if Focus were directionless.
That's what it's got to look like. Someone has to take the reins. Lewis, of course, under the support of Cider in the previous year. Second caller at that point in time, now the IGL again, as he was the previous year, 2023, when he went up against Enzo. And look, if he's not contributing in the kills, at the very least, if the mid-rounding looks better, that's what you want from him.
Takas once again going for the same pattern that we were spoke about on the desk, and we're already finding the value. And that's exactly what you need if you're Mandatory. Straight onto the site, and look at how much space they can grow into as well if they need it.
The Arsenal immediately growing, guns back in the hands of Mandatory. In post 5 versus 3, from these kinds of positions with the control that they have, expansive as ever, and the flank watched by the trap, Mystic getting no work done here. Focus might just be playing for exits.
I mean, it's taken so long for Focus to even get into position.
Did he even walk past? Oh, he can, okay.
A little bit of tech for you, mate. It seems if Mystic does get a target, but it's fleeting. Time still ticking away, so this is realistically going to be exits, especially since Kellogg's already denied towards CT. He's able to get 2. Any more than that? Absolutely not. So it will be Mandatory straight back. Seems like we're just playing a game of rally here.
Yeah, I was wondering, were we going to see Mystic's best impression of Forsaken, but it's a homemade cosplay in the end, and those 2 kills don't go as far as Takas's initial contributions. One of the few rifles in that round, I think it was just like 2 Vandals, a Guardian maybe. And they get full value. Focus not shutting down the mid-split, which the coaches from Twisted Minds know all too well from yesterday.
Well, it seems as if there's bodies setting up for the mid play right now, especially Samed at the top of mid with Zus, and Mandatory with a few bodies elsewhere.
That's the difference. It's on the Focus side this time. The defenders making their authority felt. And with Kellogg's removed, that's your left side map control lost.
Oh, it seems as if Mandatory's response is to just send it towards A, but not so quick, taking their time. Mikey with all the information needed, but is he fancying this?
Kind of just got to stick around for a little bit, stop the gun from exchanging hands.
Samed would have heard the swap of guns.
Exactly, and so he's on the line, ready to receive. Mikey, and he will find him. It's laboured, but Mandatory now queued up for the A play, have got to accelerate.
Yeah, they've been forced into this, but hang on, they've gone elsewhere.
Going into Link, it's Samed to slide past. 3 from him on the round, and Valorante cleaning things up. Enzo catching Mystic on the TP. Rez looking to be used. But Zus is closing the net in the meantime as Lewis has bought a distraction. Enzo thinking about it, but caught too late.
And the rally of rounds continues. A nice little, I guess, adjustment for the take of mandatory through mid, looking to challenge that, because there has been priority set in terms of either keeping one player there or taking it fully from mandatory.
And keloqz was always roaming against Twisted Minds between B main and bottom mid, so he was stopping any flanks, any quick rotations that the defenders are going to be looking for, as well as constantly threatening the possibility of that B split or some kind of a pop out of main. So finding him so early in the round makes the default that much more labored for mandatory. It's a nice call from Focus, but we're gonna have to see if they can repeat that, because it's 2-2 now. Mandatory are the ones to call the first time out of the second map.
I'm wondering what Mad C just talking about here in terms of how he wants to adjust what Focus are doing, because let's be honest, the direction and the the preparation that Focus have done looks very good. They look different from how they played it yesterday on Sunset, where we saw them lose.
Yeah, and it's interesting as well seeing Road taking a lot of the conversations, leading them in these timeouts as well. Yeah. As the assistant coach, someone who's been endemic to the French region for the entirety of his career so far. 4 years on a host of different teams, but this, of course, the furthest he's ever been. Actually played against mandatory in one of the 2 officials he has listed in his career. But siding with them now. It's a mixed investment to try and make something happen here in round number 5 for the French.
Takas once again going for that same path, but pivots away.
So quick!
Through market, look at this crunch that's going to happen towards main. Oh. Mikey unfortunately can't win out his duel, but it's all about how does mandatory deal with this main space taken away from them. They look to try and engage, but Samed quick on the mark, and so is Focus to support this. Up to keloqz, the head's being hit, but unfortunately he's now under fire, looking to TP away. Zosh there collects and gets the round for Focus.
I thought we were going to have another vintage mandatory moment there, but it's just 2 kills into the 1 versus 5, as it was in the end. A tough one. This nice from Samed, though, to get things started. And yeah, 8 and 4 right now, the newest inclusion to the Focus setup. Added as a substitute originally, he knows what it is to be part of this camp, but game by game is the rationale you'll have to have if you want to make this work and see success. Both duelists at the top of the kill sheets right now.
Samed with an operator in hand and a tour de force in play, but it seems as if it's going to go down on a main. The operator, the one to win out. Samed double dipping and getting seconds. Okay, Focus now starting to demand a little bit of respect from mandatory. The reset looks to have come through.
I mean, it's crazy.
Spikes down in Samed's favour.
Yeah.
He can see everything.
Stepping into an Ascension tournament with little Challengers experience.
Gotta go. I got spiked.
And taking the op off the most prolific sniper player in Tier 2 in EMEA. And immediately finding the double opener. So
I like this from Focus though. Look at this top mid looking to try and walk down. Mikey just escapes the grasp, and Hip and Takas deny the top mid approach and bring it into their favour.
I can't help but feel that's a little bit of an error there from Focus to go re-clearing this stage in the round.
I guess, but at the same time, Zus now well aware of where Mikey could be and unfortunately cannot win out. The round where we're starting to compliment Focus, saying, do you know what, maybe this is their chance. It goes awry, and now it has to be up to the young gun.
Oh my God.
1 away from an ace clutch, but we still end up all even.
It was the ace on the anti-eco against BBL Pacific defender side Ascent yesterday that was the confidence builder for Samed. But this just feels like all of his hard work was tossed away. I understand the want for information there, but when you're playing a 5 versus 3 situation,
and if you're out here too, you know that things have been kind of crazy.
The big thing for
so hotly contested area of the map where mandatory have been playing consistently.
Yeah, 100%. And I think Mikey gets a little bit lucky to get away from the stack going through, right? Because that's what Focus were looking for. distracted by the market player, but once again, they look to hold on to A main with the one-way from Mystic, supported by your boy Lewis. Plenty of bodies on the other side.
He's going back in for this now, not expecting the op there a second time. It won't be, but it's Mystic on top of things as it stands, but doesn't have time for the TP. Committed and snared by the C's. It's Sus who closes the distance and finds one back, but Kelox is quick on the trade.
Samed, he knows he can't escape out B main here in the trap, and Aloe looking to try and gamble towards A. Time is ticking.
Oh. And Samed has the better of the timing here because of the retraction of that trademark.
Need to be aware if you're mandatory, but still they scale slowly, giving Samed a chance.
Yeah, 40 seconds. This is what mandatory have been known to do. It's the slow A play yet again, only just now exploring elbow.
30 seconds left.
2, but Focus have the drop here. Samed right behind, walking ever closer. Kelox starting to think, hang on, I was flanked once before. Could this really be happening yet again? It is, but this time Samed will be null and voided in elbow.
Spike planted. Face your fear! One enemy
Kelox peeking back out though, and that's where Samed strikes. Trademark offline, nothing to stop him now. Overdrive unleashed, but it's hip in the clutch. Rotation around through Link, Aloe on spot.
1 versus 1, but this reposition is perfect.
Aloe isn't even going to commit to the half either, so both of them stepping around each other's shadows, but Hip knows exactly where Aloe plays from. The German has guessed correctly on this reposition. First couple bullets landing, Hip down to 44, but playing the long game, baiting in Valorant. A duel which he will win though, and with just enough time to take the lead back for Focus on home soil.
Confirmation, a big round for Focus to win. And again, they just try to make it scrappy. That's what Focus are doing. You can see Zus getting down mid, just unfortunately not anticipating Kelox and everybody playing a part here. Unfortunately not able to make it look cleaner, but you'll take it if you're Focus.
Goes here.
Calm reaction from the Focus coaching staff. Ito calling himself uninteresting,
I'm ready,
but
Sage. We got this.
don't want to overreact just yet. Outlaw in play for Zus, just looking to punish mandatory on this kind of a purchase. Enzo can say the same himself though. And actually, 3 of the 5 Focus players in striking distance. It's Samed who will hit first.
We've seen this so many times that Focus are starting to take away tiles from mandatory and punishing from that. And look again, Samed just looking to collect kills. This is just equal frag after equal frag. And Focus look to make it 5.
They will do so. The duelists dealing damage, not exactly working the map together, but playing such integral parts in terms of how this defender side is functioning. Constantly putting themselves in dangerous positions and forcing mandatory to check them. Samed up on his feet. Joining the team, of course, as the only other player LTR in the DAC region.
Where are...
The Focus have set the Prowler on towards A main and got Samed and Mystic set up, but it's mid where the brawl ensues from mandatory. And realistically, Focus need to be aware of this, just in case there is attack ascend up mid. But A main is where we've seen many a problem for the attack.
It's the same little bit of micro. Prowler out and then Takas to slide onto a wider angle. Paranoia joined up this time. Players on the mandatory side connected at the hip. It's Mikey to die first though.
Shortcut.
That's unfortunate. And well, we are going to see that Takas pattern here.
Yeah, quick pivot straight through market. Laser beam onto Valorant, but his Vandal doesn't miss, and Enzo caught on the head on the way through. Closing door. Aloe just playing around the side of his own cage as Enzo picks up yet another and leaves the slack to the rest of mandatory. Hip's got to commit to the plant here, or at least he feels he has to.
Oh my God!
Just going to take all four. Running rampage through his own site. And doing it almost single-handedly.
Just so clean. Alo has always been one of the best shooters in EMEA. Gone, I guess, unrecognised by many of the, I guess, the kind of more casual viewers. But for those who have been in and around watching the game for a long time, know that he has always deserved an opportunity at Tier 1.
Yeah, it was also part of Team Heretics at one point as well, same as Kellogg's, a different age of course, but right at the beginning of the game, since then has gone on to complete his studies. Not given that opportunity up to VCT just yet, but wanting to seize it by force here. Focus with 6 rounds under their belt now, and the monopoly on the ultimates as well. Mandatory a couple situational usage at best. These Sheriffs have to create some kind of a spark to get things started. For right now, it's Focus putting the pressure on.
Mandatory, once again, going back towards the old faithful. Mid space taken, but it's all about focus and how they're all the way up through A main already, so they should have known about this, or at least assumed that this could potentially be the play on towards the B site. The operator not finding the mark. Still Mandatory slow roll the way through, taking their time, trying to find an opportunity, but the opportunities are not coming whatsoever. Lewis's Phantom finding kills, and Focus looking to find an advantage into the next half. They'll find it. That's 7.
And the advantage secured, like you say, quite rightly. Focus just putting one foot in front of the other. Stoic looks all around, nothing to celebrate just yet. But the small win is the second mandatory timeout in the half, showing just how much attention they are giving to these first 12 rounds to stop Focus from stoking the dying embers of their Ascension campaign.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, right now, with what Focus are doing, like, in terms of winning that A duel, right, that they're completely denying Mandatory the opportunity to threaten that space. Because Focus are so confident, and then as well as that, when it comes towards mid, it seems that Focus have the idea of what they want to do in terms of reacting to Mandatory. I mean, they've denied the top mid space as well. It seems to be later in the round that we see Takas go for that, and with that being said, it feels as if Mandatory's hand is a little bit forced.
Yeah, to an extent. I think Mandatory have been really good in some of these mid-rounds at just quickly pivoting into their execution, which is why the point you raise is so important. Focus's adaptation has mainly been to take those main spaces away, having that control and not being threatened by the possibility of the A site, and feeling more confident in that. We've not seen Mandatory, of course, go for that play through the A-Link instead, the other split that you can make happen. They have their preferences, and they're being read into quite nicely. 4 on the bounce as we head into the next gun round. Mandatory with plenty of planning behind this, and tools to use. The Nightfall up for Hip if they wish to execute.
First time we've really seen them threaten the space, but there's no overreaction from Focus. And Zus going all the way down, wins the operator fight against Kellogg's. And now that's a big question mark on mid that Mandatory are going to struggle to clear, or at least have to take time to do so.
So in tune with the off angle there. Clearing upwards to find Kellogg's position. That control drops, that facade falling. Mandatory establishing their presence in B main at the start of the round, and Kellogg's is brought back on his feet as mid continues to be theirs, but it's Zus who might just strike twice, and he does. The culprit Enzo brings his teammate back up at the cost of his own life, and Takas isn't far behind.
And straight away, you're seeing the dimensional drift being used, looking to find more information. Mystic scaling off the back of it. Hip challenges, wins out.
Yeah, and Zus has excluded himself from the round in progress in the process. So Mandatory have the A site open for the taking.
But if Zus can catch out Kellogg's, his opportunity's just missed. fleeting and towards the A site. That spike needs to go quickly because there's 15 seconds left.
Kellogg's still on flank watch, but as you say, this spike is taking a lot of time to go in. It's 4 seconds to spare or so when Hip will plant it into the ground. Kellogg's watching over, the retake coming in from Focus, 3 on 3.
Kellogg's with that lane is waiting for a challenge to come through. Remember, Zus won it last time. And on site, you've got Mikey and Hip trying to batten down the hatches, hold on. Kellogg's forced off the angle. He now needs to challenge Zus, but the 2 players on site are doing their job. They're making sure there's no pressure on the operator. This surely should be mandatory to get 4. Finally an answer back in the conversation, the round straight after a timeout.
Yeah, and just Focus looking a little bit disjointed there in that retake attempt. After the Nightfall comes in, they can't get past the smoke. This was such a nice opening pick from Zus, and at the double, you felt like they'd sealed it, but that disconnect showing itself again. And one thing I will say about Zus is, yeah, his utility usage on the Yoru perhaps hasn't been up to scratch as much as another player on the same role. It's the op that you credit him for, something we'll be looking at extensively on their attack.
The Zus operator comes through once again, noted by the Haunt, so respects what Mandatory have pushed forward. And it's the same opening round for Mandatory with the exception of Mikey being elsewhere.
Mandatory taking B main control for the 2nd consecutive round. This time, there is no Inquisition from Focus in the mid space. Only Mikey here for the time being, but Zus on the prowl once more.
Always looking to be dynamic as ever. Leg Takas didn't get the value in terms of a kill, and that a heal on the Sage brings him straight back up, healthy for another fight.
This position, Mandatory will just be inviting the pressure from Focus. They know this defender side wants to bite back. In terms of the mid round and what they go for, it's just Lewis reconfirming with his 2nd Prowler. Top mid taken.
Time starting to tick away. Decisions need to be made. Gunfights to be won. Lewis playing an off angle. Kellogg's having to clear with the operator. Won't win. Enzo next up. And it's Lewis to win that duel. Zus again. Keeping sure that that operator finds value.
20 seconds.
Spike collected, but as you say, time is getting low, and you need to get the spike towards the site. It's not going to happen unless Takas can.
10 seconds left.
Oh, I was looking for the first fight and to get out of dodge, but it's just not happening. Focus asserting themselves back into this series. 8-4 half on the defender's side of their opponent's map pick. Through Zus and Samad they go, but for now we hand it over to Ginny, standing by with a special interviewee.
Special interviewee from the side of Focus. Ego, you guys are, by the way, like heavily outnumbered. There's 3 of you. There's like half the French community here. So, but you guys are doing great on this map so far, right? It's what was it? 7-4? 8-4. 8-4. There we go. Sorry, my math's really bad. How are you feeling, though, after seeing the fact that there is some signs of life to Focus?
Oh, I'm definitely feeling good with how we played the first map, but at the end of the day, I think it's not enough to play one good half. We have to play a good game, you know, and I just hope that the boys can get this map over the line, and afterwards we will see.
What do you think happened in that first map? Because, like, 13-2 was a little... Yeah.
I mean... It's hard to explain in nice words, you know, like we didn't play good, they played good. They had a good start to the series, we hadn't, and we're just happy that like we came back from the 13-2, that the boys kind of reset it, and that they're like now doing better on the second map so far. But let's hope for them to...
So far, you don't sound very confident. Don't you think you can win this one?
I mean, I'm always confident for my team, you know, but it's like hard to say because like everyone on this level is good, and we will just see how Mandatory comes out of the half. I think like the pistol round will be very important.
Okay, we're gonna wait and see, but we're ready to go back to our caster. So Hazza, Cairo, do you think Focus has a chance?
I think Focus have every chance, Hazza. I mean, being at an 8-4 half, signs of life, but the biggest question is signs of life enough to convert that into a map win?
I wouldn't say those signs alone would be, but in terms of player performance, definitely an improvement here. Wondering about the history of this fixture though, and the fact that we have seen Focus crumble from leading positions before is what has you concerned. Takas making the same play that he did the other day. Quick closure of the door. Trying to shut Focus out from this position. Already back to that top mid crossfire.
Look at the challenge. Takas first up on the angle against Sus, and he can't get a snatch, not even a sniff, into this one.
It's a strong start for Focus. Opening kill onto Takas. Mandatory won both pistols on Sunset yesterday and have won every pistol so far. Can keloqz find any more? No, it's Sus the next. Another 5v3 for Focus. Is this one going to be one that they can win?
I mean, win this one, perhaps easy to get towards double digits. The dark region, their ears are starting to perk up a little bit. They're starting to get excited here. But there is still 3 players alive for Mandatory, and you know that they're good for it. Mystic, Samed, and now VALORANT finish out the round and get Focus their 9th.
Next incision made, and the first pistol round win, as I was saying. Focus needing a little bit of that to get themselves into this one. In terms of what they did well, hunting in the right areas to find themselves an advantage, converting that into the site execution. They've not been a team which has defaulted all too convincingly on their attack sides previous, but Sunset is a different map, and when I speak of implying the mouse coach they have, expect improvements.
Mandatory looking to challenge mid, do so successfully. The entry found by keloqz. So, advantage defense. Lesser weaponry, sure, but it's bodies in which you can work with.
Like I was saying, you've added a specialist to your roster in terms of coaching staff on playing this one. You can see actually though, it's Enzo, the one with the reclear, through B main, Spike still sitting in mid, Focus yet to make their move. It's through Samed's solo that they're relying on getting something done.
Oh, the timing.
Crosses the spawn.
Enzo, does he catch a player off? He sees the first. Oh, the trigger discipline. It doesn't quite get the second, but at least he will see the spike.
It's the frenzy though. Any other gun, maybe there was a chance. Sheriff, a headhunter, sits in the hands of keloqz, reclaiming the B main space, which Focus expect to be overrun. They can't be too careful
30 seconds left.
Clearing into the B site here.
Go, go, go.
Taking their time.
keloqz is really just looking for any signs of life, any confirmation that Focus are here, because the rest of Mandatory on A, it's a long rotation to make.
Taking their time. Waiting for that spike
10
to go
seconds
down.
left.
So once it's down, this is where we start to see
planted.
Mandatory move.
And all keloqz has to do is bookmark this. Wait for a player to peek into him and have a strong position when the retake comes through.
Zus is first in, gets his third, and well, keloqz finally activates getting that trade. It's a 2 versus 2. Samed, the only real rifle here. And well, Takas has been able to collect one himself. That headhunter firing off another, but Takas taking a hit himself. 2 versus 1, it's up to Samed, it's up to the young gun. The hope for Focus as he was brought in to bring some firepower. Can he do it here? No! Not against the experience of Franz, a player who has been to Ascension and won it. It will be Mandatory to get 5.
Each team winning a pistol, and each team picking up the next. Focus falling foul to the same thrifty round which they picked up in the previous half. And that's an instant kick in the teeth. The gap reduced back to 4 rounds. keloqz with an op purchased in only round 3. Focus are gonna mix a rogue rifle in here and there, but how much can they get done to continue building this?
The answer is not a lot. Straight away, lose a player. Mandatory now starting to feel the momentum at their back, and well, that's Mystic caught off guard as well. Mikey playing round as smoke, and well, they get the ice picks out and trying to chip away at this wall. You feel as if their hands forced, right, to go into B here.
It's the decision they're looking to make. The rifle lost on the other extremity. Kellogg's with the first pick through the wall, sizing up the angle to his liking. There's an Odin right behind it as well. Focus on their last legs unless Samet can do something, but Kellogg's is unperturbed. Doesn't matter what rifle you've got, his will kill you in a bullet.
Lewis with just the classic and the spike on his back. He'll have to wide swing in towards main and gets caught by Enzo's spray. So we go back to a rifle versus rifle. A flawless round for mandatory. Focus need to be careful that, as we talked about that momentum for the defense, it doesn't start to roll into something of a comeback.
Mandatory's economy is booming. They just opened up a new account. They got themselves a stainless steel bank card. They're feeling it, man. They're living the high life. All the guns and then some. But this is Focus's chance to respond. We've seen Samet and Zus individually make big things happen, but together we need a much more unified result.
Shadows. Spike not committed here whatsoever. This is just Focus trying to posture, flex their muscles a little bit, show that they have the capabilities to take space away very quickly, but with just getting the dimensional drift out, he's looking to identify any threats. Well, all three found in towards elbow, and Focus look to try and respect it. Zus getting 2, maybe even 3. Yes, it will be. Focus open up the A site. Spike can go down.
Brilliant from Sus. Catches the set piece just before it's set in motion, and Mandatory will be forced to save. Even with the weapons they have, no reason to give anything over to the offense, especially when you've got a couple different players who are quite happy to take that op on the attack. But it looks that much more convincing. And sure, it's the investment of the Yoru ult. I would still like to see in practice if this partnership between the duelists can deliver a little bit more when they don't have such big investments, such heavy tools, but this is number 10 now. The gap restored.
Somewhat. You can always see, you know, that gap be reclaimed, I guess, from Mandatory.
Sure.
It's one round, sure, but can they repeat the successes, Focus?
I think the issue also remains to be for Mandatory. With this composition, they are trying very heavily to hold on to the sites and set up to make plays like this through elbow, because you saw how their retakes were yesterday. They really struggled against Twisted Minds, even with the set utility, even with ults. I think of Hip's Nightfall as one of those premiums.
Now it feels like we're in control. Now it feels like we're in control.
So Ito has done my job for me. Focus are in control, and in this round, it's just an opportunity for them to continue extending their lead.
It feels like they're in control. Can they go and prove it once again? On to set up Mikey, on towards this one way. And we've seen last time Mikey maybe be a bit too extended in his play in A main and get caught out. And it's the same utility from Focus to try and explode towards the A site. And in fact, they're going elsewhere through Ivy rather than elbow.
He is the first point of contact. Had a difficult day in the office yesterday, but could make amends here. The rest of his team have arrived post-haste. 3 players in the site. The 4th is Zus, and as a Focus player, it's the spike heading into the defenders though. Lewis with it on his back. Has to move with an air of caution, but Mikey has taken him down. And so the objective needs to be searched out by Focus, but they're getting caught in the back by Hip in the meantime. It's all falling apart. When it felt like they had it in, Zus is left in a 1 versus 3 to pick up the pieces, and Enzo's having none of it. Every time Focus get back to a 4-round lead, Mandatory immediately respond.
Feels like control, but the answer is something entirely different. Mandatory can snap their fingers and instantly come back into this. Focus can't let their concentration drop at any moment.
It's ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
That as soon as we hear that from Ito, it's another round back. But Mandatory have struggled to build consistent success. When you look at the timeline though, 3 out of the 4 rounds with rifles in hand, sparing the eco even. Focus just waiting to be put on the back foot. Like he's trying to claim the orb, but's got to get out of there.
Trying his hardest. Samed is so close. His judge not getting what he was looking for, and Takas' support is able to bail Mikey out. And there's also the heal from Enzo, so he's going to be healthy very shortly.
I was about to say Enzo en route immediately to put a bandage over that one. Mikey back up to full in just a moment and rejoins the mandatory sight hold on A. From Ali, 3 players stacked up together. But Focus are waiting for something to happen.
But they're the protagonist.
Exactly. And I don't know how that makes me feel.
They're the one on the attack. They're the ones who pull the trigger.
Face your fear!
Finally, the execute looks to come through, and with the smokes down, probably going to be no real engagements right head on unless it's spams through smoke. But Mandatory, very capable of re-engaging at any moment, especially with Mikey still having the paranoia. Focus looking to go elsewhere, scaling up through that Ivy position through the other point, but instead Mandatory out of CT, Mikey making it work, and constantly Takas, he gets caught out. And so does the rest of Focus here, just with 8 seconds to try and make something work, and walk straight into Kellogg's. That gap begins to close quicker and quicker.
Convincing stuff from Mandatory, peeling back from elbow there. Mikey staying alive and supporting his paranoia, fundamental to what ends up being more of a pre-take. I think the fact that Focus never got the spike down and couldn't actually set up their positioning is what won the round for Mandatory, because as I said, in those set retakes when you're playing, you know, 5v4, 5v5 even, they didn't look comfortable at all. But they're immediately there to disrupt that timing, and that is the reason why you see them now go within just 2 rounds. Focus perhaps starting to panic. First of their timeouts has been called.
The fact is that it's been taking them so long to use it because they have been so happy for the longest time. Usually we see this burned very early on in the game in a map.
It was both in the first half on Haven, so
yeah,
Sunset feels a far cry from there, but I have to say, heading into this next round, they're going to be on an eco.
Yeah.
Any plans that you can devise here are essentially voided for the next.
I think this, right now, this position that we're in, is basically what came through from the coach confessions, right? What we're hearing from the Mandatory camp. They said, we need to be careful because Focus have nothing left to lose. They are one map away from going to get their flight home.
There are no second chances anymore. Mandatory at least have the safety net of Ascent, but it feels far away right now. Focus not yet out of the woods. You cannot stress that enough. This is Mandatory's prime opportunity to bring us within 1. The full purchase, of course, up against a set of Sheriffs. So Focus go back to mid with 4 players. Zus holding on to this flash. Mikey elevated angle, saw it yesterday. How does the setup look? Well, there's just no one to capitalize.
No one at all. Mikey missed out last time round. Can Samed make it work here? It looks like it's not going to be the case. In fact, confirmation through Enzo with Odin, and it continues to ring off. Lewis would have heard that many a time from his stint in North when he played up against Enzo, and it continues to get worse. VALORANT tries to get through main, and hit so close by. Does Alo even clear him?
Does it even matter, Cairo? I don't think it does. Enzo on the Sage, making himself a nuisance. Such a comfort pick. You slow the game down to a crawl, and that's where the Odin, said them both at once, is going to play at its best.
Do not fight.
We are within 1. We are within 1, and that's the most important thing to come out of that round. Sure, the fact that Focus didn't really have much of anything from that round, right? But this is the most important, for Focus to either get 11 or we end up all even.
And as we've been harping on about Focus's defaults as well, the Sage just makes it that much more difficult, especially when Enzo is so consistent with this wall, forces you to interact with it, change up your plans perhaps, and then Kelox is the other side of it. Controlling A, another opening pick. It's Lewis offline with all of his utility.
The worst part about that spam as well afterwards is the trap got destroyed, but Focus tried to move up mid.
Oh, and it's Tak has to strike first. Enzo right behind him. And at the double he goes with Hip to close it out. Flawless number 10. It's a tied game. Focus in control no longer.
And it's all come after that coach replay. And we're going to get the coaches coming back into the conversation one more time. Another timeout coming through from Focus. And that's the worst part. The fact that we've seen Focus be in control of what seemed like a veil of control, but it was all a lie. 4 in a row now from Mandatory.
Just looking at the streak here, Focus have got to try and find some answers. Just 2 rounds on their attack side so far. Feels utterly damning. Thrust back into an eco, Mandatory in a prime position to take the lead for themselves, and you can see here, Kundi sending out his orders to the players. I already mentioned before, this is one of his maps, but you're just not seeing the improvement right now in terms of performance for Focus. They've taken their foot from the gas pedal and just slowing down into a crawl. They can't shift out of that first gear.
I mean, again, is it overconfidence, complacency, or is it just Mandatory finding the right answers that they needed?
I just think it's a lack of a solution from Focus right now in terms of dealing with what this defense is asking them, interacting with that setup. A fast A play might actually be one of the better reads that we've seen from them, but Enzo's already thinking a step ahead. He'll be stationed here with his utility and the support of a player either side. Odin already out on the prowl, and the reveal is huge!
He's gone one further, one step better. 3 on the round, and a chance to try and escape. It won't work out, but at least Takas is there. Just managing to get away. Wait, how's he got that kill? I don't know, but I tell you what, Mandatory will be happy with that round win.
11 to 10. Why wouldn't you be? The French smiling ear to ear. As they can feel it, we can feel it. Everybody knows it. The writing's on the wall. Focus are falling away from this. Right at the very end of their season, this could be the conclusion.
But this map feels like the story of Focus all year.
Exactly. And just from winning the pistol round and failing to convert that anti-eco, we come into the most important rifle round of their campaign so far. Their 2025, down to Kelox's op. It will miss for the first time. Enzo up close. It's still a problem.
Yeah, he's got the wall to try and escape, or at least buy him some time, but it's just all the way forward. The Odin once again striking, and it looks as if Mandatory are ready for this! They're looking to deny Focus any chance back into the series! It's Mandatory with map and series point!
Grey clouds gathering in the Berlin skies for Focus 2025 attempt. We all felt it there. Mandatory looming above their heads like a guillotine. And finally they drop the blade. 12 rounds reached. And Kelox screaming through the walls to make his thoughts known.
4 ultimates for Mandatory to finish this one out. 2 chances. And Focus with what seems like no solution.
So in the corner again with this Odin. Get past him and maybe there's a chance, but soul bound to the site. The only way in is a bullet through his brain.
When have we seen Focus get by the Odin and the string of rounds that Mandatory have been able to put forward? Takas is here, Kelox close by as well.
Enzo even holding on for the TP on the off chance that Zus wants to green light his own demise. As Focus now, the masters of their own destiny, playing yet another slow round, not wasting a single second.
But where are they going?
Such a fragile feeling in their camp. That's the question we all want to know the answer to. Movements made towards A, but the Spike's still committed to the B site.
Trying a fake, trying something different. We haven't seen this so far from Focus, and it's got Mandatory interested. They're going to try and react towards this, and it's just chance to get on towards B. Kellogg's here though.
Full rotation, all but one. Kellogg's is upgraded to a tour de force. Speaking fluent French, right back to them.
10 seconds.
The gun in his hands flicks upwards and finds Mystic. One at a time, they fall. Salmon to try and do everything. The sub stepping into the side to make it all happen. The VCT veterans that went before him. But it means nothing if he can't win it now. 1 HP, Decay down, knows not where Hip comes from. And so Mandatory will make it a 2-0 and send Focus home, finishing their year.
Mandatory keep the hammer hot for one more game, and that game is either being knocked out or all the way to a chance to VCT.